Ahora sí, tell me un poquito más.
Hola, I'm Kim.
And I'm Cindy Gaxiola.
And this is our special segment of Tell Me Un Poquito Más Questions. Es nuestro segmento especial de Tell Me Un Poquito Más Preguntas.
Sí, porque hemos recibido preguntas de ustedes, así que muchas gracias por las preguntas sobre todo, sobre el amor, sobre relaciones, y dijimos, bueno, es hora de comenzar a contestarlas. We've received from you guys questions about everything, about love, about life, about relationships, and we just knew it was time to start answering them.
It was time. We're going to try our best to answer all of the questions we got. Vamos a tratar de contestar todas las preguntas que hemos recibido. And the first question was about ghosting. La primera pregunta fue sobre el ghosting, sobre ghostear. Y la pregunta es, ¿por qué los hombres hacen ghosting o te ghostean y vuelven a tu vida como si nada? Como si nada haya pasado. O sea, literalmente nada. The question was, why do men ghost and they come back into your life like nothing happened?
Porque son uno.
Dilo.
No.
Dilo.
No. Primero que nada, quiero clarificar de que esta pregunta la hizo una chica, entonces está preguntando sobre los chicos, pero los chicos no son los únicos que hacen ghosting, las chicas también lo hacen, así que hay que reconocerlo. This question was asked by a female, so she's asking why men ghost, but we just want to clarify that we know that it's not just men that ghost, women do it too, so let's not just...
Women do it too, but I think women are more sentimental in that area or more open about it. Las mujeres como que son más abiertas sobre eso, más sentimental. Yo no creo que un hombre dejaría esa pregunta, la verdad.
Tú no sabes, déjalos preguntar, déjalos.
Tal vez. Pero, okay, ¿qué es el ghosting? What is ghosting? To me, before Cindy gets into it, to me, ghosting... It's rude. It's disrespectful. And I do think it takes a level of immaturity. Yo siento que el hacer ghosting es grosero, es una falta de respeto y es inmaduro. O sea, ¿cómo? No sé, no se me hace grosero que de un día para el otro como que, ok, ya no me interesas, bye.
Are you okay?
Yo estoy súper bien. O sea, no estoy dolida. I'm not hurt. But I'm just, it's rude. It is rude.
Tell me you've been hurt without telling me. She's like, I'm not hurt.
I'm not hurt at all. I mean, no, es en serio. Sí es grosero. It's rude. I think it's
yeah,
rude.
no, I agree. Well, I agree with your definition of ghosting, but in general,
thumbs up if you agree with me.
in general, ghosting is when you end a relationship without any explanation and you cut off all communication. And that sums up what ghosting is. El hacer ghost a una persona es cuando terminas una relación y cortas todo tipo de comunicación sin ninguna explicación. Y esto no aplica nada más para relaciones románticas, o sea, se puede hacer ghosting a todo tipo de personas.
Con la misma amistad.
Pero en esta ocasión vamos a hablar sobre
el amor.
Sobre el amor.
Yo creo que todas las chicas quieren que hablemos sobre eso.
Ghosting doesn't just apply to relationships, it applies, to romantic relationships, it applies to all kinds of relationships. But in this case, we're going to be talking about romantic relationships.
I just think it's crazy how one day you could be super good with this guy. And then from talking every day, you know, to your good morning text, good night text, and then from one day to another, it literally goes. They disappear. Es loco para mí como puedes estar súper bien con ese chico, hablando todos los días, mensajes, shalala, y de un día para el otro, se desaparece.
I do think that from one day to another is subjective. Yo sí creo que el de un día para otro es subjetivo porque creo que a veces... we get the red flags.
Como que hay señales.
Yeah, I think it's subjective because I do think we get red flags. I think we get signs and we're kind of blinded or we don't want to see them. We don't want to admit them. So to you, it might feel like it's from one day to another, but it may have been gradually. Sometimes it is from
I was going to say, I think it could. It could. There could be that, you know, you're not fully aware of it. But it could happen that it's from one day to another.
It could. So then why do you think people ghost?
Why do people ghost? I mean, honestly, I think, I don't justify it, but I do think having that talk is not the most comfortable thing in the world. I think it does bring you out of your comfort zone. I think the easiest thing to do is just deuce out. Like, just I'm not interested, I'm done. Siento que es la forma más fácil de hacerlo sin tener que tener esa conversación, sin tener que pasar por eso. Lo más sencillo de hacer es como de que, ok, ya no me interesa, ya no lo contestar mensaje.
Yeah, of course. You avoid having to deal with something. Evades el tener que confrontar eso, porque como dices tú, puede ser incómodo o es, como dices, es más fácil. Y sí requiere, creo que sí requiere cierto nivel de respeto hacia esa persona y cierto nivel de madurez de uno mismo. I do think it requires a certain level of respect and respect for that person and maturity on your end as well.
And let's be honest, other times it could be that too. Other times they're talking to a lot of girls. They're talking to a lot of girls at the same time. Están hablando con otras chicas al mismo tiempo y no sé, le interesó más la otra y para ellos se les hace más sencillo como dejarlo para un día para el otro. O sea, como te digo, se me hace es rude. No sé, have you ever ghosted?
Have I ever ghosted? No, I mean, I'm a communicator. Like,
yeah, you are.
I like to communicate.
Cindy, I like to you and like boom, 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 boom.
I like to say things how they are, and I've had an example where I'll be talking to someone, we'll go out on a date, and if I wasn't feeling it, I'll communicate it. I'm like, yo, like they'll text me, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I don't really see you like that. Like I see you as
you
a
say
friend.
that?
Yeah, I
like
do,
you text
and it's
that.
weird. It does.
That is weird. I've never done that.
I've done it.
You say I don't see you, like I don't see it going anywhere?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Because
how do they respond?
Because I don't want to be rude. So they respond like, no, it's cool. Like we just want to be like, I just want to be your friend. Like, but most of the time we are not friends. Like, but at least I leave it up to them. Like it's their choice. If you want to be my friend, I'm being real with you. I see you as a friend. And if you want to be my friend, cool. And if you don't see me as that, then that's cool too. But I'm communicating. I'm being transparent.
See, that's a level of maturity right there.
I would hope so.
I think I've ghosted, but this was I was immature. Literally, that is exactly what happened. We would talk on the phone, todo eso, y I just started to lose interest. But this was a long time ago, and I started to lose interest, y ya, like, he would call me, I just wouldn't answer. Yo sí hice eso, era cuando estaba más inmadura. Yo estaba hablando con un chico, hablando por teléfono, mensaje, todo, y de un día para el otro, o sea, como que ya no me interesó y me hablaba y ya no le contesté.
Entonces ya no haces ghosting.
No, ya no. I would hope I don't. Maybe I would hope I don't. Yo esperaría que no lo haría. A mí me encantaría tener esa madurez que tú tienes. I would hope that I have that maturity if I were to be in a situation like that, to be upfront about it.
I think it just comes down to don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself. Yo creo que no le hagas a otras personas lo que no te gustaría que te hagan a ti. Porque
I agree.
Eso es feo. Que te hagan eso es feo.
Es horrible. Now, I think once, ponle tú por la chica, the girl that has been ghosted, right? You were talking to him, he stopped talking to you, and then 2 months after, he tries to come back into your life. How do you respond to that? Para esa chica que sí ha sido ghosted, que un chico la ghosteó, ¿cómo reaccionas? O sea, estaban hablando ustedes y de un día para el otro sí te dejó de hablar y trata de volver a tu vida como 2 meses después. O sea, ¿cómo respondes a eso? Porque yo he escuchado diferentes cosas como de que no le digas nada, no lo confrontes para que él no piensa que te importó mucho, o sea, no lo hagas un big deal. I've heard different things where you shouldn't, like, no, don't make it a point. Don't tell him nothing so he doesn't know that you were hurt about it. And there's others that say, no, let him know so he knows to not do that again. Hay otros que dicen, déjalo saber para que sepa que no está bien que él haga eso.
I think it's completely up to you, and it depends on what you want. We have to realize the facts and the reality of what happened. You were ghosted before. How did that make you feel? And look, I know it didn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So are you willing to expose yourself to that? It also depends on what the other person comes back to tell you, because when people ghost you, it's not usually about you. It's about them. It could be that they were dealing with something personal, but it could just be that they just did not care to communicate with you. So I think it depends on a lot of factors. Yo creo que depende de demasiados factores, porque cuando alguien te hace ghost, no es necesariamente o sea, no te lo hacen por ti, te lo hacen por ellos. O sea, quizás están pasando por algo en ese momento o simplemente no les dio la gana comunicarse contigo.
And I love that you bring up that point because I think us as women, we could very much be caught up in what did I do wrong? What did I do? Did I say something in the last date? Did I say something in the last call? And I think it's important to have that in mind. It's not always about us. It's not a matter of attacking ourselves. It could be something that they're going through, and the easiest way is to just not confront about it. Me encanta que haces ese punto porque sí, muchas de las veces como mujeres nos podemos atacar a nosotras mismas como de que qué hice mal, hubiera dicho esto, no hubiera dicho el otro, pero muchas de las veces no es de ti, es por lo que sea que la otra persona puede estar pasando.
Exactamente. O quizá no están pasando por nada, simplemente no quisieron. So then you do have to evaluate, right? Like, am I willing to expose myself to that again? Depending on what they tell you, if they say, I've just been so busy, I'm sorry, it's your choice. It's your choice if you want to engage in that. And maybe you do, or maybe they do come back to you and they say, you know what, like, I'm so sorry, that wasn't right. I won't do it again. Maybe you can set up certain boundaries, and I think the choice is yours. Don't forget the reality of what happened. Don't forget the facts, because I will say, when you've been ghosted and that person all of a sudden comes back into your life, it almost feels like, you could become a little bit more blinded because it feels nice that person came back.
Yeah. You're like, oh, he wants me back.
Ooh, he wants me. Yeah. So just be very aware. I would say speak to people you trust. Speak to like your friends. Your friends will tell you. Again, I hope that we have mature people around us that can give us good advice in regards to this aspect. But your friends know more or less, like, you know, what this person did was this way. So they will give you a less biased opinion, or hopefully less biased. I don't know.
Yes. No, I think to conclude it is, I think definitely be careful if you've been ghosted and he comes back into your life. I do feel that if you go back into it like nothing, I mean, they could be like, oh, I mean, if I could do this again and again, you could run that risk of them doing it again and be hurt by it again. Para concluir esto es ser sabias. O sea, si el chico sí te ha hecho ghost y trata de volver a tu vida y tú regresas con él como si nada, probablemente para él va a decir, oh, bueno, si vuelve conmigo como si nada, yo se lo puedo volver a hacer y you know, puede ser a pattern. Un pattern.
The bottom line is communication is so important for any kind of relationship. And if this person does not want to communicate, if they're not good at communicating and they're not willing to work on that, and it's important to you, then I think you're in a big risk. But it all comes down to the communication that you guys have and what you decide that you are willing to accept. But you do have the choice. So make sure you are aware of that and establish the boundaries you need to establish. And that's it. El punto es que la comunicación es súper importante y es súper clave en cualquier tipo de relación. Entonces es importante, y esa persona que te hizo ghost decidió no comunicarse contigo. Entonces hay que estar consciente de eso y decidir cómo queremos proceder con ellos.
Exactamente. Así que esa es nuestra opinión de ghosting. Espero que no seamos ghosted. I hope that we're not ghosted. I hope that we don't ghost. But yeah, let us know if you guys have any other questions. Let us know what you guys think about this whole ghosting situation, because I think we could elaborate so much more on this. But again, we just wanted to touch the basis of it. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our podcast platforms.
And don't forget to keep sending us questions, because we're going to be answering them. Y que no se les olvide dejarnos preguntas, porque las vamos a estar contestando.
Así es. Hasta la próxima.